Imagine this. You're sitting in your tiny apartment, staring at the divorce papers that just arrived in the mail. Your heart is heavy, your mind is racing, and then your phone rings. It's her, your ex-wife, Sarah, the woman you thought you'd spend forever with. But instead of any regret or kindness, her voice cuts through like a knife. "You're pathetic, Alex," she sneers. "You'll never amount to anything without me." Those words echo in my head, even now, as I think back to that day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another story of betrayal and sweet, sweet justice. I'm Alex Thompson, and this is my tale of how one phone call shattered me, but led to a discovery that changed everything. Let me take you back to the beginning, step by step, so you can feel the weight of every moment. It all started in a small town where dreams seemed too big for people like me.
Sarah and I met in college. She was the outgoing type, beautiful, confident, always the center of attention. I was the quiet guy, studying hard to become an engineer. We fell in love fast. "Alex, you're my rock," she'd say, her eyes sparkling. We got married right after graduation. Life felt perfect. We moved to the city, bought a modest house, and started building our future. I worked long hours at a tech firm, climbing the ladder slowly but surely. Sarah pursued her passion for fashion, starting a small boutique with my support. We'd laugh over dinner, plan vacations we couldn't afford yet, and dream about kids someday. But looking back, there were tiny cracks I ignored. Sarah started complaining about our life being too ordinary. She'd eye luxury cars on the street and sigh. "Don't you want more, Alex?" she'd ask. I thought it was just ambition. Little did I know, it was the seed of something darker.
As years passed, my job demanded more. I was promoted, but it meant travel and late nights. Sarah's boutique wasn't taking off like she hoped. She'd come home frustrated, snapping at me over small things. "You're never here, Alex. I'm handling everything alone." I'd apologize, promise to make it up. One evening, I surprised her with tickets to a fancy gala, something to reignite the spark. She seemed thrilled at first, but at the event, I noticed her chatting a bit too long with Mark, a wealthy investor from her circle. Mark was everything I wasn't. Flashy, charming, with a sports car and stories of exotic trips. I brushed it off as networking. But the doubts crept in. Weeks later, I found texts on her phone. Innocent at first, but flirty. "When can we meet again?" one said from Mark. My stomach dropped. I confronted her gently. "It's nothing, Alex. You're overreacting because you're insecure." Her words stung, but I believed her. Or maybe I just wanted to.
The signs piled up like storm clouds. Sarah started dressing up more, coming home late with excuses about business meetings. Our arguments escalated. "You're holding me back, Alex!" she'd yell. I poured my heart into saving us. Counseling sessions, date nights, even quitting my travel-heavy projects. But it wasn't enough. One rainy night, I came home early to surprise her with flowers. The house was dark, but her car was there. And so was Mark's. I walked in quietly, heart pounding. There they were, in our living room, wrapped in each other's arms. Time froze. "Sarah?" My voice cracked. She jumped back, her face pale. Mark smirked, adjusting his tie. "This isn't what it looks like," she stammered. But it was exactly that. Betrayal hit me like a wave, drowning me in shock and pain. How could the woman I loved do this? I felt my world crumble.
The next days blurred into a nightmare, and Sarah moved out quickly,
taking half our savings and the house, claiming she needed stability. Our lawyers battled it out. She painted me as the neglectful husband while hiding her affair. Alex was always work-obsessed, she'd say in court. I fought back tears, but the judge sided mostly with her. I ended up in a cramped apartment, scraping by on my salary. Friends tried to console me. "You'll bounce back, Alex." But inside, I was broken. Then came that call. "Pathetic," she called me, laughing as if my pain was a joke. "Enjoy your lonely life while I move on with someone who actually succeeds." Her words fueled a fire in me, a mix of anger and determination. Little did she know, fate had a twist waiting.
Weeks after the divorce finalized, I was drowning in routine, work, gym, sleep. One afternoon, a letter arrived from a bank I'd never heard of, First Heritage Trust. It looked official, with a gold seal. "Dear Mr. Thompson," it read, "we request your presence for an urgent matter regarding an account in your name." My brow furrowed. An account? I had no ties to this bank. Curiosity piqued, I called them. "It's confidential, sir. Please visit our branch." Suspense built as I drove there the next day. What could this be? A scam? Or something from my past? The bank was grand, marble floors echoing my footsteps. A manager named Mr. Reynolds greeted me warmly. "Mr. Thompson, we've been trying to locate you for months." My heart raced. What was going on?
In a private office, Mr. Reynolds pulled out files. "Your grandfather, Elias Thompson, set up a trust fund before he passed. It matured on your 35th birthday, last month." Grandfather Elias? I barely remembered him. He died when I was a kid, a reclusive inventor who cut ties with the family. "The fund started small but grew through investments," he explained. "It's now worth $47 million. My jaw dropped. $47 million? Me? The pathetic guy? Shock washed over me. "There must be a mistake," I whispered. But the documents were real. Stocks, properties, even patents from Elias's inventions. Tears welled up. Relief mixed with disbelief. For the first time since the divorce, I felt a spark of hope. But this wasn't just money. It was a chance for justice.
With wealth came power, but I didn't want to flaunt it recklessly. Sarah's words echoed. Pathetic. I decided to turn the tables subtly, letting her taste her own medicine. First, I hired a private investigator, discreetly. "Dig into Sarah and Mark's life," I instructed. Reports came back. They were living lavishly. Trips to Europe, a new mansion, funded partly by Mark's shady deals. He was embezzling from his company, and Sarah knew. Suspense built as I pieced it together. My plan? Expose them without getting my hands dirty. I invested wisely, starting a foundation for underprivileged kids, something meaningful. But the revenge? I'd wait for the perfect moment. Questions swirled. How would she react? Would she beg for forgiveness?
I kept a low profile at first. Changed my number, moved to an upscale but hidden condo. Word got around subtly. I let a mutual friend accidentally mention my new success. Sarah called, but I ignored. Then an invitation arrived. Their engagement party. Perfect. I RSVP'd yes, heart pounding with anticipation. The night came. I arrived in a tailored suit, driving a modest car to avoid suspicion.
Sarah's eyes widened when she saw me. "Alex, you look different." Mark shook my hand firmly, but I sensed his unease. The party buzzed with chatter. I mingled, dropping hints about my recent luck. Curiosity hooked the guests. Sarah pulled me aside. "What are you up to?" I smiled mysteriously. The game was on. As the evening unfolded, I shared stories, vague at first. Life's funny. One day you're down, next you're on top. Guests pressed for details. Sarah hovered, her smile forced. Mark boasted about his business empire. "We're expanding globally," he bragged. I nodded politely, but inside I knew the truth from my investigator. Embezzlement charges were looming if exposed. A toast was raised. "To new beginnings," Sarah said, glancing at me nervously. I raised my glass, and to surprises that change everything. The room fell silent for a beat. Cliffhanger tension hung in the air. She whispered later, "Alex, can we talk privately?" I agreed, but only to plant more seeds of doubt.
In a quiet corner, Sarah's facade cracked. "I didn't mean what I said on the phone. I was angry." Her eyes searched mine for sympathy. I stayed calm. "Words hurt, Sarah. But I've moved on." She pressed. "Mark and I are happy. What about you?" I hinted at my wealth without revealing. "Things are looking up. Way up." Jealousy flickered in her gaze. "Good for you," she muttered. But I saw the wheels turning. Back at the party, Mark cornered me. "Heard you're doing well. Need investors?" Arrogance dripped from him. I smiled inwardly. The revenge plan was unfolding perfectly. Little did they know, I had evidence ready to send anonymously to authorities.
Days after the party, I executed the plan. Tipped off the SEC about Mark's embezzlement. Anonymous, of course. News broke fast. Investor Mark Dalton arrested for fraud. Sarah's world shattered. She called me frantically. "Alex, did you have anything to do with this?" I denied it coolly. Karma, maybe. Her boutique, tied to Mark's funds, collapsed. She lost everything. The mansion, the lifestyle. I watched from afar as she moved back to her parents' house, humbled. Shock turned to relief for me. Justice served without a single harsh word. But the best part? A bank statement leaked to mutual friends, revealing my fortune. Whispers spread. Alex is a millionaire now.
With Sarah and Mark exposed and broken, I focused on healing. Invested in my tech firm, turning it into a success. Started dating again. Someone genuine, named Lisa, who valued heart over wealth. Sarah reached out one last time. "I'm sorry, Alex. I was wrong." I forgave, but from a distance. No more toxicity. Life bloomed. Charity work, travel, true friends. The $47 million wasn't just money, it was freedom. I reflected on grandfather Elias. His legacy saved me. Now, I honor it by helping others avoid betrayal's pain.
Looking back, betrayal hurts, but it can lead to growth. Sarah's words called me pathetic, but they ignited my fire. The lesson? Never underestimate someone. Life has twists. Trust your gut, value loyalty, and remember, true worth isn't in bank accounts, but in resilience. If you're facing betrayal, hold on. Justice comes in unexpected ways. Thanks for listening to my story.
If it resonated, like and subscribe for more tales of revenge and redemption. What's your take? Share in the comments. Until next time, stay strong.
A year on, I'm thriving. Married Lisa in a quiet ceremony. Sarah? She rebuilt, humbly. Working a regular job. Lessons learned. Mark faced jail time. His empire gone. My foundation helps divorced folks start over. It's fulfilling. This journey taught me, from ashes we rise. Betrayal stings, but revenge, done right, heals. End of story? No. It's just the beginning.
So what did you think of Alex's story? Tell me in the comments. Where are you watching from, and how did this story make you feel? If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life.